What's your story? What do you like about it? And I think from a generational standpoint, these things really vary. Oh, there's the chair right now. Good evening, Jeff. And it's really critical for the future development of our county and its economic vibrancy that we need to continue to attract young folks for our employment base, for a diverse, robust county of all types and ages. And truth be told, we are losing millennials, Gen Ys, Xers to other areas, whether it's DC or even out to Loudoun. So we want to make sure we're providing the places you want to live, the resources, the services you want. And we're really looking forward to hearing your thoughts, whether it's on land use or whether it's on affordable housing, whether it's on open spaces, whatever. We'll be covering a lot of topics, and I'm so pleased that Graham has agreed to be the staffer on this. He's terrific, as is all our staff, and so I think you're really going to enjoy working with him. And I'll turn it over to Jeff, or the chair, to share some words.
Thank you very much, Rachel, and it's great to be with you all tonight for a few minutes to kind of kick off this group. Just, to supplement a little bit about what Rachel said. First, this idea, while I wish I could claim total credit for it, really came up at an NAACP meeting in South County at the South County Government Center. Seems like a long time ago now, not that long ago, and it was Muhammad, who's there on the call, who suggested this idea. And, the more I thought about it, the more I realized for a long time that, our older adults in Fairfax County have had a commission for as long as I can remember. And certainly they have distinctive issues and needs in the county. And, it was always important for us to allow people who had lived in the county for a long time to be able to stay in the county, to be able to retire in the county. And to still be part of the fabric of what, Fairfax County is. And yet that same effort was not being made on the opposite end of the spectrum with our young people. And, as the chairman of our budget committee, besides all the moral reasons why this is important, just thinking about it as the chairman of our budget committee for a minute, right now to educate a student in Fairfax County Public Schools requires about $14,000 a year investment. And of that, about $11,000 of that is a county investment. And so if you do the math on that and figure out if you were ever an FCPS public school student and spent even just a few years in our school system, we have a huge financial investment in you and your success. And to see anyone graduate from FCPS and leave the area to locate somewhere else, it is disheartening, just from a common sense standpoint. And so the other piece of this that's important, of course, is that one of the biggest challenges we face in Northern Virginia and Fairfax County is filling jobs, especially IT and high-tech jobs. And many of the businesses and companies we talk to say the biggest challenge about coming to Fairfax County, really they put it into two different categories. One is having the talented workforce here to fill those jobs. And the second is the affordability of living in our area. And so both of those things disproportionately affect our young people, because we know our IT talent is mostly in people younger than me. And we know that affordable housing challenges are acutely difficult for people who are younger, who haven't had years to build up the unfortunate amount of wealth that sometimes it takes to be able to buy a home in Fairfax County these days. And so these issues are, really important ones from an economic standpoint. But then from a social justice standpoint, we live under one Fairfax mantra where, our diversity is our strength. We want to lift up all corners of the county and all people in an equitable way. And in order to do that, you can't leave any groups behind. And that includes young people. And so from a social standpoint, it's absolutely important for us as we move forward to hear the voices of all demographics in the county, to make Fairfax County a better place. And this group will provide advice to the Board of Supervisors like many of our advisory committees do. And, while our board is younger and more diverse now than it has been in past years, we certainly don't understand it all. And we want to have your input so that when it comes time to make policies, we're able to do that in a more successful, inclusive way. And so this is really about economics. It's about our investment. It's about our future. It's about our One Fairfax initiative to include all people in our success, and the unique challenges that you face are important for us to understand in Fairfax County. If we're going to accomplish some of the goals Rachel mentioned, which is, creating an environment that attracts young people here, not an environment that encourages young people to go somewhere else, we're going to need your advice and guidance to make sure that we're doing that. And nothing pains me more. I'll be parochial for a moment. Nothing pains me more than when I talk to some of my regional counterparts, and some of them, whether it's Loudoun, who thinks they have a greater stock of affordable housing and wants to compete with us in Fairfax, or whether it's Arlington that thinks they have a monopoly on cool factor and nightlife for people who are younger. We know in Fairfax that we have the best education system. We know that we have a safe community. We know that we have a diverse community. We know that we have an economically successful community. We have so many attributes, and we don't really take advantage of many of those, especially with attracting young people and retaining young people in the county. And so your advice is going to be critical as we move forward. And then lastly, when this idea came up and Mohammed suggested it, of course, at that time, we had no idea what we were getting ready to face with this pandemic. And what this pandemic has proven to all of us is that in counties like Fairfax, really everywhere in the world, some of the disproportionality issues that have unfortunately affected certain segments of our population far worse than others prove to us once again that we still have a lot of work to do on the equity standpoint. And so, the timing of this, while we would have liked to have gotten started earlier, the timing is really good. Was doing an interview earlier today, and people asked about, what our goals were moving forward. And frankly, I think one of the major goals we have in the county is how can we, now that once we get past this pandemic, how can we literally rebound the county, reshape the county, improve the county, and make it an even better place than it was before the pandemic. So much of our life has changed, and in a lot of ways forces all of us to look at everything a little bit differently than we did before, and I think presents us a real opportunity to shake some things up in Fairfax and be that much more inclusive community as we move forward. And you all are a key part of that. So I really just wanted to stop by and thank you for your participation. Make sure you know that your voice is certainly valued by me and by the Board of Supervisors, and certainly look forward to in the months and years ahead getting advice from this group on policies that we must put in place to move the county forward. And so special shout out to all of you, and make sure that you stay engaged, because we didn't just set this up to kind of issue a report in a couple months and then move on. We set this up to be a permanent committee of the board because these issues are not ones that we address in a week or two, but are systemic issues that we must address over a long, sustained period of time, and remain dedicated to doing that. So I appreciate all of your efforts and volunteerism to support and improve the county and make it a better place for our young people. So with that, I guess I will turn it back over to Graham, and again want to thank Graham for taking this exciting opportunity on from a county staff standpoint. Greatly appreciated.
Thank you, Chairman McKay, and thank you, Rachel, as well, for those great words of introduction and welcome to everybody. It's great to know that that this effort is supported at the highest levels of Fairfax County, and it's an honor. So thank you very much.